cookie jar. It was shaped like a cat, it was a present from my brother. I read a lot of books, but I couldn't see between the lines. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind.
And we're live, just like that. Good morning, people. I know every day it is. Isn't it amazing? I've been studying magic. You know what I saw yesterday was the French truck coffee, which I'm very excited about. And it turns out it's like Chris Finney's wife's cousin or something like that. He well, I think I mean they're having a baby. Well, because I've been away for 15 years. I know they live together. They act like they're married, and they're having a baby. But we've never really said, "Hey, are you married?" And I think most people know about it who know him. I think it's safe. I'll be like, Chris, are you married? Because I'm not sure if you were. You did it without. Has he got something? No, it wasn't him. They're saying you don't have audio. Let me make sure that your audio's on.
He's incredibly jealous of me.
There he is. Now you're on. It's because I've been talking too much.
It's because you're incredibly jealous of my verbal fluidity.
I remember what happened now. When we went off the air, we were still talking and we were playing Mark's song, and it remembered that. But it's so funny because Shmee actually said, Shmoo said you sound like a Muppet talking from Mars. So I'm sorry. She's a funny girl.
Yeah, she is. She laughs. She's
kicks. Oh, somebody said they don't mind waiting because we're worth it. I think it was your sister, but you know.
It might have been me. I might have an alias. I'm typing in good things.
Nice. Oh, speaking of which, let me see if I can make that work again today. What the hell else, right? What the hell else we got going on? Nope, that's not the one.
Well, I did have one commercial. I like to complain about commercials.
Right.
And it's the new one in the series of commercials for the people who have the stomach problems, right?
Okay.
So I don't know if you've seen this one, but in this one, now you'll sympathize, right? Because your daughter played basketball.
Yes.
Her whole life.
Yep.
Through grade school, high school, she's got a scholarship to college. She's an amazing basketball player. So this kid is playing basketball. And this little boy is like, he's pushing puberty. He might only be 12, but he could be 13, 14 easy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he's on the line shooting a free throw. And he looks over nervously to his mom. And she grabs her stomach like she's got to run to the bathroom. And the kid looks down all depressed, like he doesn't know if he can make the shot. And I'm thinking, first of all, get your head in the fucking game. What the fuck are you doing looking for your mother? You're 12, 13, 14 years old. You're not 5.
Right.
You're not suddenly distracted 5 years old. I need something to drink. You're at the freaking foul line. Focus, son. Or give somebody else a ball, for God's sake. Secondly, your dad's sitting next to mom. You look at dad for help, you cut the umbilical cord.
Not only that.
You're too much of a mama's boy.
Oh.
Okay. Secondly, you're pushing puberty and you can't recognize that your mother has a medical condition and she might have to go to the bathroom. You want to embarrass her and make her feel worse about the shit by me? Fucking drag. I'm here shooting a free throw. She's not going to see it. She's got a medical problem. What a little shit, man.
Is this the same company that did the band girl?
I don't know, because I don't know the name who the drug company is. But these commercials, they're not right. These are not good people. They're just not good people. And then the mother takes the pill, right? So now she's there and she sees him make the free throw. After the game, he doesn't run to dad for a high five. No, this little... Pick up your skirt, you Mary. What do you want to have? Crybaby soup? He runs to his mother for a hug. The whole family goes to the post-game buffet, which it's a little elementary school. So it's like finger sandwiches and chips, and mom's stealing chips. I'm like, what are you taking the pill for? Change your diet. That's what these people's problem is. They got to change their diet, man. You can't just throw a pill on it and think everything's going to be better.
I like the throw a pill on it idea personally. I don't want to have to do the work.
Yeah, it's great in your 20s, and then when you wind up with esophageal cancer in your 40s because you've been holding down all the stuff that shouldn't have been in there in the first place, you know. Anyway, those commercials are crazy. These are bad people who need to give their love to better quality people in every single circumstance.
I could tell you this: my daughter wasn't looking at
Now,
us.
this just could be me projecting,
No. She wasn't looking at us at the free throw line. There was no, and you're right. A 12-year-old kid is not like going, "Where's mom and dad?
right?
Where's mom and dad?"
Right? Was your daughter? Was she? Was Lindsay? Allie.
Allie, yeah.
Was Allie at the free throw line, like nervous about the shot, and all of a sudden she wonders, "Is my mom and dad watching?" No.
No.
She's laser focused. She's banging the free throw because she's Allie and she's fucking tough.
By the way, the kids who were like that didn't play basketball long. I'll be honest with you.
Well,
They're-
that were kids like me. I mean, I wasn't in sports. I'm not saying I was the focused guy at the line or nothing, man. I was afraid to get hit in the face with the ball because I was daydreaming.
Right.
But I was smart enough not to be on the court, and I certainly wasn't looking for my mother to be there because had she been there, it would have made matters worse. You know, she'd have come down in there and spanked my ass for missing a foul shot or something in front of all my friends, and then I'm doubly embarrassed. And I'm in therapy.
I won't say that there aren't
months.
parents who are overzealous, but usually it's in that other way of like being, man, there was this one guy who would make his daughter walk home next to the car if they lost, and she didn't
No.
make so many shots. I'm not even kidding. Wouldn't make so many shots a game. She'd have to walk. I mean, he'd be driving 10 miles an hour next to her the whole time, making her jog home like Rocky. And this
What
girls.
grade was
This was seventh grade. Seventh grade.
this? What a psychopath.
Yes, flipping. I'm not even kidding. Psycho, and like we didn't like the girl because she was way overzealous. Like Allie'd get pissed at her. It's like Jesus Christ. It's like following the hell out of me just for the damn ball. Allie wanted to put an elbow in her face and stuff. And we found that stuff out. We started to feel a little bit worse for her. Allie's like, yeah, her dad's like psycho.
Yeah, there's usually
Look, even now in college, she's got a freshman that just came on. Let's just say that she knows a player. How about that? Who still gets grief from their parents in college about the way they played.
I'm sure pressures, stays throughout, and those kinds of people, especially if they're living vicariously through their kids.
Yeah,
See, I'll never have that problem, Mikey. I don't have
You don't
kids.
have kids.
But by the way, it is Superhero Review Day with the special segment on cosplay, and Allison's son, which I suppose makes him my stepson since we're married. But he's 30. It's his birthday today. He's 30.
Uh-huh.
So shout out to Cosplay World, to Brian Campen, if you know him. Or
Oh,
if you know
Brian does.
somebody who-
Brian does. Do we have any pictures for Brian or?
Hang on a second. I have one right here. I'm going to go grab it and show you him and his girlfriend Liz in their cosplay costume.
Because you guys, Louis said he just put the word out last week. Hey, we're gonna put this on the show. He said he got so many people in, he had to actually go. All right, slow down. This is 1 week.
Wait, let me
You
get
got
this
to go a
right.
little higher.
Somehow-
Yeah, you're finding it. You're figuring it out.
Well, it's everything's opposite.
Yeah, it is opposite. Yes. Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, she's like the little thing character.
But which character is he? He's something. I know. I don't know those characters either. But it
I
is,
don't know.
But it does look nice. They look nice.
They're a cute couple, and he loves all that cosplay stuff and dressing up. I'm hoping to get he and Louise together someday. Although,
Mark loves your
Louise-
Friday. He's calling it your Madison Avenue rant. The one about the commercials.
I can't help it, man. Like I want the commercials to make some sense,
I don't
Like
blame
the
you.
lady's got a problem, okay? She got a problem. And let's not even deal with the son, because that son, he's too much of a wimp for me to even deal with. He's got to look for his mom before he can. Let's go back to the band. Your lead singer's got a problem. Well, she's a pretty talented woman. She's the lead singer. I mean, let's try and make her feel better about herself. We all have a job because she's got a cool voice.
Did you see
You
she
know?
was? Did you
But-
see she was? Oh my God! I'm
Oh,
sorry.
they're on stage. They're not even hiding it. They're not even hiding it. They're all just looking down like, oh, man, what a drag. Yeah, man, what a drag. The theme of the ads is bad. It's bad people who are not supporting their loved ones, and they're forcing them into a situation where they have to take this pill to be accepted so that they'll fit in.
Right.
I don't like it.
I don't like
Change
it
your
either.
diet. Let's try changing the diet first. And then if that doesn't work, maybe we'll go the pill route. But stop with the pizza and the chips, for God's sakes.
They should just put it in the COVID
Sure.
vaccine, and then that way, we could just get it. We should get it in the
I
COVID
can go on
vaccine,
and on.
don't you think?
Okay, here's another one. We'll leave the poo behind. But here's another commercial that drives me crazy. It's the one, I forget, it's about old people and osteoporosis and the bones being brittle. And there's one woman jogging in the park, and she's got to kind of go around a pine cone. Okay, that's cool. Sometimes you're daydreaming, you don't see the pine cone. I see that. But there's this one woman, she's jogging down Main Street in a small town, USA, and the dad is coming down a hill with his daughter on the bike. The daughter's a good foot and a half to 2 feet in front of the dad, out of his reach, going towards an intersection. Now, the least of this man's problem is that she's going to hit this old lady and break her leg. She's going to fly into traffic and get hit by the local city bus and become the latest imprint on the bus. What kind of father is this? You know, this this town's got bigger problems than this old lady might get a broken bone from the child on the bike. What kind of dad does that? Oh, we're on a hill. I should probably, my daughter's only 5 years old. I should hold on to the back of her bike and let her think she's pedaling. And I'll just trot along. Oh, you're going fast, honey. Ooh, we're at a corner. And I hold the seat back and she doesn't hit the old lady or the bus. Again, these are bad people. And they're forced by being bad people and by us enabling their bad behavior. Other people are forced to take pills. And I don't like it.
And I don't like it. Good morning, Bernardo in Portugal. We got somebody watching in Portugal.
Bernardo, he was a fine young man I met when I was in Portugal on vacation a few years ago. He at the time was working a couple of jobs. I met him waiting tables, but he and his girlfriend were working towards saving enough money to get married, and I thought it was just a beautiful thing. Did you get married, Bernardo?
Let's see if he's still watching. I'll let you know when he says something. It'll be a few minutes before he even hears that question, unfortunately.
Oh, I might have just embarrassed the fuck out of him. He might have broken
Right.
into with somebody else.
He's
He
like,
might
thanks,
be married
Paul.
to somebody totally different. Be like, thanks, Gringo, you fuck.
We're here sitting here watching this thing together, and oh, great! You ruined my
Yeah,
cup of
right.
coffee.
Totally blew his game because he probably told the woman that's the first woman he's ever loved. And
He's explaining things right now. We'll see if
see,
we.
that's why I have this is my problem. I was not raised right. I had no father. My mother was checked out. I didn't have breeding. So like that's what we're talking about Jim McCormick. He had two wonderful parents. His dad was a hardworking man. He had a great example. He knew to get to Nashville and be polite and schmooze and listen and how to network and become the number one hit single writer in Nashville. Yeah, I walk in the room. I say something offensive. I didn't even mean to. I swear to God.
Well, just think about it. You
I
remind
was
me
just
more
being.
of Johnny Cash. Remember that famous poster of him shooting his finger off at the record companies? Um,
Man, for instance, I was working with these producers in New York on Nine Lives, and they hooked me up with this guy they want to be the director. And they put us on the phone, and the very first thing the guy says to me is, "So how do we make Nine Lives more like typical musical theater so we can get it put on at the public theater?" And I said, "That's interesting because my question would be, how do we keep it as original as it is so that we can call it art and do
right?
something different?" We didn't get along, he and I.
No,
I
no,
don't think we'd be working together.
no.
But I also could have been more tactful about it. I see in hindsight that I was perhaps a bit blunt.
Well, if
You
you said it
know,
like that, you did say it with a smile on your face. It had.
yeah, it was a phone call. He didn't see the
Oh,
smile. He just thing.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
What do you say we kind of keep it original and call it art? I don't know. Crazy idea.
A crazy idea, but let's not do what everybody else has done.
You know, it's funny because, you see that a lot in the movies, especially these days. And I get it. They're spending so much money and you see it on television and you could tell the characters that got run through the committee, and what cracks me up about that is like, even back in the 90s, who's the director? The director who did those RoboCop movies and stuff like that. He was
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Verhoeven.
Which, by the way, I liked.
Yes, Verhoeven.
Uh, yeah, Verhoeven.
And
Paul
but
Verhoeven.
he always had those in all of his movies. He had those bits where he would look into the future, and it was very cynical,
Yeah.
but it was looking at these sorts of things that are so prevalent in our society now. It just cracks me up. Like the guy saw it coming.
I was listening to a TED talk. Uh, I listened to mostly about yoga and breathing and stuff to try and work on my voice. But this one guy was talking about how you have to tune out the negative influences, and he was saying how the news is mostly negative, And he's like, I haven't watched the news in 17 years. And people say, well, you're missing things. And I go, no, if it's really big, I hear about it.
Right. Right.
And if it doesn't concern me, then I don't really need to hear about it. And he goes, and besides the news, if you think about it, it's the same news as it was 20 years ago. It's just different people going through it.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same oppression. It's the same injustices. It's the same rich people stomping on the necks of the poor people. It's just with different faces and different names. And so I haven't tuned out the news completely, but I like to watch my local news because Eric Paulson is a friend. Sheba Turk is adorable. And the new weather guy, what's his name? Sean Payton. He's as cute as a button, this kid. He's like, he looks like he's like all of 15 years old. Just got his first job out of high school. He looks so young. And he's from Texas. So when he says the weather, it's going to be a nice day, he says, it's going to be really nice today. It cracks me up, man.
I just
In
did
the middle of a newscast, I'll text Eric, this kid is adorable. Give him the same night again.
I just did something with Sheba, SPCA thing.
She's just great.
She's so sweet. My gosh, she was the nicest
Well, she's
person.
New Orleans, first of all.
Right.
She's a real deal.
Right.
And then she really has that same great buoyancy and sweetness that Sally Ann had, but she's a lot more playful because she's young and she's,
Right.
just out
Bubbly
there experiencing.
yeah.
Oh, so bubbly. And, I love the way she loves her family. When her dad passed and she showed pictures of him, he had the same gorgeous smile that she has. And recently on Siblings Day, she showed her brothers and they have the same beautiful smile. So they seem like a great New Orleans family. And that's the kind of newscaster you want to tune into.
Right.
Somebody who's part of this, who's of the community.
Right. I know. And speaking of the news, I've been kind of staying out of it for the same sort of reason, just the negativity. But it's kind of, as soon as it became, and we all saw it happening in the '90s, but as soon as it became a thing where they were trying to make money off of that, off the news, that's when you start crossing that line of.
Well, man, it wasn't the '90s though. I mean, that you remember the movie Network, right? I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore.
Which one? I'm sorry.
You're too young for that. I want you to go to your window and I want you to scream, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. If you haven't seen it, it's playing right now on one of the movie channels. And it's a classic. And it's William Holden, Faye Dunaway, both in beautiful form, running a network. And he's old-time news division. And she's the up-and-comer. And she's trying to make it more about entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really great. There's that one is a great one. And that's way back in the 70s when news was already changing from, news to an entertainment thing. And then broadcast news in the 80s made it clear that
Right.
the battle was over, that
Right.
entertainment won out over hard news.
Or even The Insider.
Yeah.
The Insider, where they looked at 60 Minutes. And
The guy referred to CNN as constant negative news.
right. And CNN, actually, that was the beginning, when they launched the 24-hour news. Then now you're into this thing where they have 24 hours to fill. So,
Yeah, because, there's a lot of people in the world, like insomnia is more common than you think. There's a lot of lonely people in the world. And not all of them are very educated. Sometimes they'll watch Fox. Sometimes they'll watch CNN. Sometimes instead of reading or meditating, they'll watch TV. I always tell people it's called programming for a reason.
right, good point.
From the beginning, it's the Federal Communications Commission who are in charge of programming. So y'all think about that and
Right.
go ahead and watch your favorite program.
Is that why you and I like to watch movies and stuff so much? Just,
Well, there's one of my favorite books, Illusions, Richard Bach. He meets a guy who's carrying a book called The Handbook of the Messiah, of a Messiah. And he's like, you're the Messiah? And he goes, no. People got it confused back then. He wasn't the Messiah. He was one of many thousands of us that are trying to help out, and they all took it so seriously. That poor guy wound up getting killed over it. And he's talking about, he's teaching him like miracles, like how to walk on water and how to, resurrect a dead plant. So the guy's getting kind of excited and they're walking through town. It's a 70s. The Messiah, whose name is Donald, says, "Hey, Richard, let's go in and see this movie." And he looks up and it's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And he says, "I don't want to see it. I've already seen it. I want to learn more stuff. Teach me how to walk through a wall. Teach me something new." And he goes, "No, I want to see the movie." And he goes, "Oh, man." So he's bored. He's in there. He's like, "I'm watching the movie." And at first, I'm pissed. And I'm trying to ask him questions. He's just, "Shh, I'm watching the movie." He says, "But after a few minutes, I got into it because I like the movie. It's a great movie." So I'm watching it and I'm into it. And I've sort of forgotten about my miracles and my learning. And it's the scene where Butch and Sundance are facing down the entire Bolivian army. And Richard and Donald turns to me and he says, "Are you ready to learn something?" And I go, "No, I'm watching the movie now. Leave me alone." And he goes, "But I want to teach you something." He goes, "Well, can it wait a few minutes? The movie's almost over. And he says, "Richard, this isn't really happening. It's lights on images. It's an illusion. This world and everything in it is illusions." And so they walk out and he's like, "Well, if, I'm not sure I know what you mean." He goes, "You're your own director. You're the star. You write the script. You produce it. You can have whatever life you choose to have because you're in control." He goes, "If that's true, why do some people have sad lives? Why do some people have horrible lives?" He said, "Why do some people watch soap operas? Why do some people watch horror movies? It's what's inside your soul. It's what you're seeking, and you find it."
Wow. So what was this? A movie?
We were talking about movies, yeah.
Yeah, no. But where did that story come from?
That was in a book. It's in a book called Illusions. A
Okay.
great book. Very easy read. You can read it in like 3 days.
Oh,
It's
I know Illusions. Yeah, yeah. A friend of mine gave it to me, and I never. It's tiny too. Um,
tiny.
yeah.
And it's a beautiful fable. Great, the guy from Bella Fleck, Wooten, what's his name? The bass player,
Victor Wooten,
Victor
right?
Wooten. He wrote a book about teaching music. I can't, off the top of my head, think of the name of the book, and that pisses me off because it's a life changing book. And he used illusions as a model. He is lying on a sofa, having fallen asleep practicing bass because he finds scales so boring. He falls asleep. And he wakes up and there's this long-haired skateboarder in his apartment. He doesn't know how he got there. And the guy seems to know everything about music. And it's a really, God, I wish I could remember the book. It's going to bum me out.
I'm gonna look
At
it
some
up real
point,
quick.
when you're talking to Luis about superhero stuff, I'll look it up and I'll interject inappropriately. But it's really great, and it's sort of spiritual, but in a sort of whimsical way,
Uh-huh.
and really puts you in touch with. Like at one point, the guy goes, "Well, I'd get better if I could practice with better people, And he goes, "Well, like who?" He goes, "Well, like Miles Davis, He goes, "Well, why don't you just practice with Miles Davis?" And he goes, "Right, I'll just call him on the phone and practice with him." And he said he walked over to my record collection, and he'd never been in my house before, and he walked right to an album, pulled it out, and it was Miles Davis, and he put it on, and he said, "There he is, jam." He goes, "Well, I don't know what key it is." He goes, "So what do you need a key for? You have a bass in your hands. Just play music." And he's like, "Trust your feel and trust your ear to find the music. There's only so many notes you can choose, and only so many of them are wrong." So it's really, I mean, Victor Wooten, here he may have even written a second book, but it's a book that when I got through it, I started again. It so moved me. So,
You just hit on something that I find interesting because it kind of plays into. I've joined a few Facebook groups kind of recently, and I've never done that before, but I see a lot of these questions from novice people, and you just nailed it down. Like people who are new at things are so convinced about doing things wrong. Like it just seems to be like all the people who are new, not all, but a lot of the people who are new at things, their thing is like they don't want to do it wrong. When a lot of these things that are
I was
art.
just talking about this on Jonathan Prius' show. I did his Beatles podcast. For a while, I was doing John Rankin's songwriting class. And I remember arriving there. I'd go once a semester to talk to his songwriting students. He's retired now. I got there one time a little bit early, and he was just finishing up, and he said, what the rules were. And I said, "Well, not to correct your teacher right in front of him because he's my friend, but the rules are there are no rules. If you are just writing a song to make yourself happy, then whatever you're feeling is right and good and beautiful, and just do it. Now, do you want to write a song for Nashville? There's rules. Do you want to write a pop song? There's rules. Do you want to write a country song? There's rules. Gospel song? There's rules. But just to express yourself, if you're in this songwriting class, just to learn how to express yourself, there's no
Funny part
wrong."
about what you just said, though, is even in all of those genres, there are always exceptions. One of the ones that comes up
Well,
to
it
my
was except to every rule. That's why there are rules.
exactly. That's why there are rules. But I was just thinking, like even the pop one, and it just hit again was the Phil Collins song "In the Air Tonight," which breaks all the rules of a pop song, but it's a huge pop song. And even when it got rediscovered months ago, 6 or 8 months ago, it was became a hit again for a
Well, I
few
don't know. I
days.
don't know that you would say that song breaks all the rules. It breaks all the rules of pop now, which is why it blew those
Maybe
young
that's
men's
what it
mind.
is. Right.
Joe, because everything now is like bang, bang, bang. You're hitting them in the face from the
There's
beginning.
always a beat, right? There's always a beat. There's always that song makes you wait
You're
for it.
never well because there's no attention span anymore.
Right.
They're scrolling through life, and trust me, they're scrolling past your fucking song. So you better have something going on as soon as the song starts, and you better have something going on the whole freaking song, or else they're just gonna scroll right on out of there.
Right.
If you give them a chance to breathe, they will go breathe someplace else.
And you're right.
So,
Just the intro of that song takes, yeah, I think there are a minute of just swooshing sounds and stuff before you even get into him
and there was
singing.
a time, the late '70s, early '80s, long intros. Like I'm sort of amazed now when I listen back to some stuff from then. The long intros were long. Like
Right.
the singing didn't just start. I've gotten used to it too.
Uh-huh.
Intros were quite long back then, and there was more patience in music.
Mhm.
I heard an interview once with Louis Armstrong, and the guy interviewing him kind of sounded like he didn't like rock and roll very much, kind of like maybe a jazz snob. He goes, "So, Pops, what do you think of this rock and roll craze sweeping the country right now?" And Louis goes, "Well, to me, it's the same old gut bucket blues we was playing back in New Orleans, and the only difference now is that everybody plays too loud and nobody listens for the beautiful part,
Right.
you
Right.
know? And that's it. Everybody plays too loud and nobody listens for the beautiful parts."
Oh my goodness. So Greg Hill said he loved illusions. It was a big book for him, Mindbender, and he also says the same guy who wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Do you know?
Yeah. Richard Bach wrote a few. Had a trilogy with Illusions. Illusions was the first. It was about a fellow named Richard who was flying biplane rides for $5 a ride, and just sort of trying to find a teacher and find his one true love. And then there was one called Bridge Across Forever, where he's found that love, and they go a little bit deeper into this realm of flying that ties into spirituality. And then one, which is the final one in the trilogy, where he flies into a whole new plane. Like they're landing in L.A. and the world beneath them disappears, and they're suddenly flying through dimensions. And they meet themselves as a Russian couple who's about to be annihilated in a nuclear war against the United States. They meet themselves, as an older couple who's lived an entire life together. Then they meet themselves as one spirit, one very playful spirit named Tink,
Uh,
who's everybody, who's all of us.
right.
And she's like, he goes, "Oh, so you're the one that's been whispering those ideas in my head for the books I've been writing." And she goes, "Whispering? I've been screaming my head off trying to get you to listen." And ever since I read that, that's how I feel about the songs that I write. I feel like there's some poor Tink in the next dimension that is just singing as loud as she can so I can hear these songs complete and bring them to this world.
Nice. I just noticed Luis is on. Um,
Oh,
you're
well, then it's time.
you ready to bring out Luis? Let's bring him out. Boom, and there's Luis. Good morning, sir. Oh yeah, we got
Yes.
you, Hammy. How you doing? We're doing fine. I think
Good.
the normal people can hear you too, so that's even more exciting.
Yes, no technical glitches are good. I mean, we may lose viewership when we lose our technical glitches.
Yeah, you're right. People do like watching us fumble around and try to figure this shit out.
Everybody in the world wants to feel like there's somebody out there that's a bigger numbskull than them. And we can
And
be their numbskulls, Mikey.
nice. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Dude, somebody just commented before you could even say that story. Somebody commented, "Lewis is like Muppet voice." So just put it out there. You know what's funny
So,
is
Luis, I saw a post of yours, by the way, where you were relieved that Panther 2 will not have CGI of Chad Boseman. Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, much as I loved him in the film, and as much respect as I have for the brave way he handled his challenge, they had the only way to do him justice and serve his memory properly is to let him be gone.
With Princess Leia in the Star Wars movies, right? Everybody knew she was dead, and they tried doing that whole, put them back, so to speak, and people weren't really a fan of it. Just the feedback that I got, right? So you already get that feedback, so you're not going to apply that to the Marvel movies, unless it was really
Right.
detrimental to the story, And I
Right.
feel this is one of those where they could just work around it and people be happy with it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
important. All right, so we have a lot to cover today, I guess, right? I mean,
Yes,
so
we
Mike,
do.
let's just first go with Mortal Kombat, just because I fell asleep like in the first 20 minutes. Not against the movie. I just fell asleep in the first 20 minutes. That was just, I couldn't do it. Oh, Mike's still typing.
no.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
did you
I was letting our
see it?
people know something. Oh boy, sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
You didn't just fart, did you?
No, that was the
Me?
keyboard thing. It
Oh,
sounded like I
okay.
tooted.
Well,
Nice.
and you said sorry about that at the same time. So
I,
I thought, did he do that? Did you watch Mortal Kombat? Is what he was asking you.
I did. I stayed up last night and watched it. And
Yeah, Mike watched it even all the way.
did you? But all right, which one did you watch first? Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then moved on to.
Oh, Falcon and Winter Soldier for sure. And I mean, you missed Invincible, so
I
still
did
gotta
miss
get you on that
Invincible.
one.
Yeah, no, you're right. That night when we got off the phone, I ate a little something because me and Luis talked for 3 hours yesterday, and I went to
was 4
bed.
hours,
4
man.
hours. I went to bed.
4 hours. It was 4 hours. Mike's like,
It
hey,
was
let
all
me ask
show
you about
prep.
something. Trust me, that was another cup of coffee. That was just like, conversations just flew after one another. Next thing I know, it's like 9 o'clock. And I had to look at all my chores I had to do around my house. I'm like, this is going to happen Thursday, man. This is not going to happen tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fell asleep for a while. Plus, I knew I had to get ready for Thursday because I knew I was going to be getting up, at 2 a.m. to finish up Soldier. And by the way, what'd you think about the wrap up for Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Dude, I am so for it, man. You get a shield, and you get a
Shield.
shield. I mean,
Right.
it was so great, man. I loved it. It was,
I thought they ended strong.
so many things we could touch upon. Okay, so we'll have to sort of. Oh wait, Paul, were you able to connect to Disney Plus?
All right. Here's where it gets tricky, Luis. Luis set me up with an account with Disney Plus, which I could not access through my television because it's not smart, and apparently I'm not either. And then he said I could get it through my phone, which I thought, well, can I get it through my laptop? Because a phone's a small place to try and watch a
This
TV
is true.
show.
And yes, you can.
So
Hey.
if I go to that thing you gave me, I'll be able to watch movies on my laptop. All right, I promise you by next week I will be caught up on the Falcon and the Snowman, and I will have
That's a different
watched.
movie. That's the
I'll
movie from
watch the-
1985.
It's a great movie. I'll watch it again, and we'll talk about that one along with the one that y'all like, the remake.
It is true.
I
It's Winter
understand.
Soldier. I mean, it's Snowman. Come on.
Yeah, here they have
Yeah, that's
superpowers in this
right.
one, so that's fascinating. I can see why they couldn't get Sean Penn was too old for this particular role now, but it would have been fun to see him with superpowers. And then I'll also watch the adult version of the adult version of the King Kong movie, and see what happens with him and that nasty Godzilla. I think I'm going to probably wind up liking the kids' version better.
I think
Sign
so.
language, but
Right.
I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for
But
it.
you know what? I think we're going to end up talking about WandaVision again in about a month, Mike, just because we're going to be all caught up. And, that'll be the
Well,
perfect
I tell you
segue
what.
into Loki.
I don't even know how to find WandaVision. Where do I find it?
Same place,
That's
Disney.
in Disney Plus.
Okay.
So
Oh
when you
well.
get into
Okay.
Disney Plus,
So
when you get into Disney
I'll-
Plus, it's going to open a big door
Mandalorian.
Policy.
When I catch up on WandaVision and the Falcon and the Snowman, this show is going to explode.
Oh my God. Somebody
Wow.
just said they're glad that Paul is as lost as they are.
And that's why this is spoilers ahead, right? But we try to make this friendly because I always tell Mike, I said half of your audience, which is like 7 of it, whatever you guys have, do not watch half of this.
Right.
So we almost have to do like a little bit of a roundup,
Well,
this is a music show. I don't know what I'm doing on here.
No, it's not. This is Mike and I having a cup of coffee, and we've been friends for 30 years, and we talk about whatever friends talk about over coffee, except for politics and religion, which you can't do in America anymore.
No, it's not allowed.
That's true.
It's not allowed.
That's true. Yeah, even me and Mike talked religion on those 4 hours.
I know.
We hit it all. Oh gosh. So anyway, so your Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Paul. That guy who we're talking about. Oh, so spoilers ahead for people. So that guy that we were saying that Captain America was a jerk,
right?
He redeemed himself.
Okay, I knew he would. Come on, he's Kurt Russell's son. He's got to redeem himself.
Right. They just needed to give him a chance to, and they gave him a chance to do the right thing, and he did the right thing. So that's really what it came down to.
Because ultimately he ends up being an Avenger. You know what I mean? In the comics, he ultimately became an Avenger. So you can't have them a jerk for the rest of the show. You know what I mean? So he's gonna have to do the right thing.
Right. They just needed to get him off of the Captain America business. It was all. He wasn't Captain America.
That was a bad idea from the start.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen a bad idea.
It's a terrible idea.
There's some ideas that shouldn't even be pursued.
And that was one of them.
There's a Captain America. Okay, let's just say Ringo leaves the Beatles. Let's get a guy and call him Bingo. And it'll be great. He's the son of a former great drummer, so it should work. No.
Bingo. I like Bingo. Beatles and Bingo and the Beatles.
Bingo. The replacement drummer. It's gonna be Spinal Tap. The drummer just keeps on blowing up every 2 seconds.
I know a real band like that.
We have some
drummers though.
We have some people agree with us here, saying the Falcon, the finale was awesome. So we do have somebody else who stayed up apparently till the middle of the night to watch it.
Yes.
Jesse Alcazar.
That's my boy Jesse.
Yes, so he's a maniac as well, huh?
Well, yeah, he's waiting to see himself on the pictures from the cosplay pictures that we're going to provide. So
that's why he's
in. That's
Nice.
right. Yeah, me and my Muppet voice and everything. He's ready to tune in. But at the same time, what ends up happening in that show, Paul, initially they try to get a carbon copy of Steve Rogers. So that's why they use Kurt Russell's son. Now, what ends up happening with this end of this TV show, Falcon becomes Captain America. And because of this, some people are freaking out because there's a black Captain America. And, Falcon's saying, deal with it. This is the way it is. This is the new world.
Why isn't the Falcon cool enough as the Falcon? Isn't he he's the Falcon? Now he's got to give up his identity.
No. He was given Well, see, that was what the show's kind of about. It's him finding his way to it because Captain America gave him the shield. He, like you, he's like, why do I have to be that? I'm the Falcon. But through the show, he goes to realize that in other people's hands, he's going to have to take over the. He has to take over the responsibility because, and that's what the show's about. That's literally the journey of the show is you going with
I'm going to have
him.
to tune in. I'm very much looking forward to it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I like the Falcon.
he felt the same way as you did. He's like, I don't want to be the. Why do I have to be the? I'm not the. That's not my thing. And but
right.
So that's where the series.
You
want to see some cosplay? No, go ahead, Luis.
No, I was just finishing that last point on the Falcon. Is he finally deems it? You ever see The Last Dragon with back in 1985?
Oh no,
it was like the Motown. No, okay, never mind.
Luis loves dragons.
I guess I love dragons. Game of Thrones coming up next, right now.
wait, The Last Dragon with Dennis Quaid. You talking about?
No, it was with
Dragonheart.
It was I'll have to figure it out later. But so he ends up because at the same time, as we mentioned, they had that older Captain America who was black. and Sam is always bouncing ideas and talking to him about what he felt about Captain America. So he sort of goes into that. He was captured for 30 years. They experimented on him. So it adds another level of, Sam deciding, why he, should be Captain America, which was great.
Nice.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and they have their they have their moment to sort of talk about it in the last episode that worked out really well. Real quick before we get started into cosplay, Shmoo is asking, when is your Jazz Fest set? Do you know when you're? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Festing in Place is going on this weekend. Started yesterday, and
Mine
do you know
is mine. I think is like at 3:00 next weekend.
next weekend, guys. Somebody just said 1:00. Oh, yeah, 1 at
There you
2
go.
for cubes, something like I don't know what he's saying here,
There you go.
but it's next weekend. We know
1:00.
that.
That's with my 2014 set. That was Mary Lasang on bass, Sonia Tetlow on guitar and mandolin, Linda Boley on drums, and John Herbert on harmonica.
Nice,
I
nice
believe
set.
David Silverman and Shamar Allen sat in as well.
I miss
David
John.
Silverman,
I like, John.
Luis's good friend, David Silverman.
Nice.
Poor John. He doesn't have that Midwest skin. So Paul's like, hey, can you pick him up from the airport and give him a ride to Oshkosh, Wisconsin? Sure. For me, it was a great day to have the top down on the convertible. So I'm over here enjoying this trip, 2-hour-and-a-half trip to Wisconsin. And here's John Herbert just freezing. Poor man's freezing. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
do you want to put the top up? He's like, no, it's fine. So I just feel so bad about that. Come on, John, put the top up. We can pull over. Luis, we're good. It's okay. I was like, oh, gosh. He didn't have the Midwest work. He didn't have the Midwest work or whatever he needed.
I went out last night to see John Rankin play at the Blue Bridge at the Bayou. A nice little crowd. And, he was playing for Sunset. So it was probably like 65 degrees when he started, but it got down to like 60 degrees towards the end. And I am just huddled up and shivering, man. And this friend of mine, Mark Carroll's from like Cape Cod area, he just looks at me and he goes, gorgeous night, isn't it? I thought about Luis.
Nice.
Well, one of the last times I was in New Orleans in 2017, I'm with my cousin, and we're going to go somewhere. Like, Paul goes, I'll meet you there. I'll take my bicycle and I'll meet you there. All right. And I think somewhere along the ride, I think Paul thought it was a bad idea. And when we get there, Paul just has like this down face on him. I said, what's wrong? Paul goes, I really wanted to bring my coat, but I didn't want you making fun out of me. I said, I would have done it just a little. Just a little.
Oh, yeah.
I would have made a lot of fun
On
of
to
you.
the
Just a little.
cosplay. On to the cosplay.
All right, sorry. Well,
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna start with
right.
See, I don't know
Go
what all
ahead
these
first.
characters are, but I think it might be fun to have
Trust me,
Paul.
little-
Go ahead. What? Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Because,
All right.
I had told him, try to keep it more pop culture-y. And, some of these things are more pop culture for them. So I didn't even know some of these characters myself. So go ahead. Who do we got first?
But I knew a lot of them. You have to admit, Luis. I only didn't know
Yes.
one or two of them. He was like, damn, I didn't even know that.
You were
much.
very good. You're
All
very good.
Here we go. Here comes the first one, and that's of course.
All right.
We'll let Paul guess. Do you know who that is, Paul?
That's, of course, Joe Strummer.
Of course.
Well, that's a compliment. That's my buddy Colin. Did you ever see the Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
That was on the Combat Rock Tour. Great.
So yes, Yondu by your buddy, as we know, not Joe Strummer.
Yes.
All right, you ready for? Here comes the next one.
All right. This is Sean and Maureen. They're actually new parents. Give it up for them.
Hey, yes,
He's
new
doing
parents.
Congrats on being
the-
your parents.
Yes,
Was that at Woodstock? Was that picture at Woodstock?
That was Woodstock 1942. They were doing the Captain America First Avenger outfit.
Nice.
Yes,
Nice.
that was good.
All right, here comes the next one. All right,
Them again, just Toy Story.
Oh, it's the same couple, right? So yeah, I do recognize Woody.
I was going to go Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, but Toy Story is the more obvious.
Right, it's Woody, right? Obviously, but but those characters are those characters you just mentioned, basically, as toys, right? So, all right,
That's it.
Paul, you might have to look away on this, and it might scare you.
Uh-oh. It's pretty scary.
All right. It's from a video game. It's called Evil Within. That's my buddy Nicole. I had no
Wow.
idea. I think the name, it's Victoriano. It's the last name of the character. She sent me a picture, and it's pretty well done.
Got a hole in
She
my
does a lot of
heart now.
makeup. Yeah, that was a good one.
Nicely done.
All right, here
Yeah.
comes the next one.
That's my buddy Lisa. She's out from she lives over by Lafayette, Indiana, or Indianapolis, one of the two. And there was a Harley picture art, and she had to replicate the picture. So that was a nicely done one.
And that's Harley Quinn from the Suicide
That's
Squad
Harley
movie.
Quinn.
I
Yeah.
actually, Luis turned me on to Suicide Squad a while back, so I do know some of the characters. I'm catching up, you know. I'm good with the traditionals, the big guys, the Batmans, the Supermans, the Iron Man. I know the guy, big 1940 comic strips. It's just that now there's levels of superheroes. There's superheroes that aren't so nice. There's superheroes that are sloppy. There's superheroes that aren't superheroes. It's crazy.
It's crazy, and
Hard to
some of them are
appreciate.
video games, right? You know, so or television shows. Speaking of one that I didn't recognize, this is one.
Beautiful.
Okay, so this one is my buddy Jennifer. I actually host some
amazing.
cosplay contest here, and that's from, I guess it was like a Pokemon. It's called Mimiku, and I'm like, Mimi don't know that because I just never really got into that fandom. So,
Beautiful
but yeah,
costume.
it was good. Nice job though, yeah. This is my
Nice.
buddy Christopher English. This man is just a beautiful human being as well. He's actually going to get married in December. He's going to have a Star Trek themed wedding. He asked me to be the MC. He told me, I agreed. Then he told me it was Star Trek theme. So now I got to come up with a Star Trek costume. It's going to be crazy. So
Nice.
that's not my cup of tea. I don't have anything Star Trek, but we'll figure it out. All right, this is my buddy Adam doing Winter Soldier.
So this is the Winter Soldier. This is the guy from the TV show.
Right.
Ah, that looks nothing like Timothy Hutton.
You mean from the Snowman?
Yeah, he's
I
right.
can't right now.
You might have to watch-
This is gonna drink my.
This is one of the scary ones again. So
oh, that's a great one. Who's all that? That's great. Wow, what costume?
I
So
know,
my
right?
friend Kendra, she builds those masks, she builds those outfits, she's airbrushes. She just does all that great. She's up from Minnesota actually. She's in Minneapolis.
Amazing work.
Now this is my buddy Tom. He's out in Indianapolis or also Lafayette. There's a lot of cosplayers out from Lafayette, Indiana. They're really talented.
Couldn't tell that one
That-
too well.
That Skull was wearing a Cubs helmet, and I said, "Is that a Cubs helmet?" And he goes, "Yeah, is that okay?" I'm like, "That's fine for me, being a White Sox fan, It was just I didn't care about him wearing the Cubs hat, but that's all right."
Luis doesn't like the Cubs, Mike.
oh,
Period. There's my buddy
He's a
Jesse. I guess it's from a TV show called Ed, and Eddie, and
I don't know that.
I've never heard, but people get happy with the simplest ones, and that was great. So this is great
Oh, that's
here.
great
This
work.
is
Who's that?
yes. This is a couple up from by Madison, Wisconsin. It's Crystal
Easy.
and Jason. They're just
That's
awesome.
the work went into that, huh?
Yeah, he does some of the great. He even does like the cross plays. Even he'll dress up like as the muscular Wonder Woman sometimes or something. He's just
Crazy.
funny. He has a great sense of humor.
yeah, and those guys were from Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy, of course. We haven't been
Yeah.
telling everybody what they're from, but that was Mantis and Drax. And
Right.
this one, if you have Amazon, you might recognize.
Ant-Man.
Is it
So this
Ant-Man
is
or
the
the
way-
Tick? It looks like the Tick.
This is
but-
Ant-Man.
okay.
This is the original Ant-Man from like the 1960s. My buddy
Oh,
John.
wow.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, here's this one, a new one.
Kristen from the female Ghostbusters from the movie that came out like 3 or
Nice.
4 years ago.
Nice.
And let's see. All right. Okay, here's some. This one's fun.
Yep,
Some
it got
little
yes,
Doctor
from,
Strange
Dr.
action.
Strange. Yeah, I got Ken and my buddy Doc, killing it.
I'm gonna have to get my my wife's son Brian to contribute some of his cosplay pictures. He's got some good ones. We'll do that next time.
Absolutely,
So do you know who these guys are, Paul?
the Reverse Flash.
Yep,
kid
of
loves
course.
kid loves big fan of Reverse Flash and my buddy Gary.
I was a big Flash fan.
See, that's.
love
I
the
thought
Flash.
that. Yeah, the Flash kind of was
Fact
during
of
your.
all, when I was a kid, when I was a little boy, people would say, "Which superpower would you like?" I wanted to be the Flash, man.
I still want
I
to be the
wanted to
Flash.
Yeah, I still want to get everywhere
I'm
fast.
dying to be the Flash.
I know, me too.
I got my buddy, man,
That's,
Doug from Michigan. Good old Cap.
that's a
Yes.
serious Captain America outfit there, man.
Oh yeah. Oh no, he gets a better. He has a better one after this. So give him a couple more slides.
All right, this one's interesting. You said these guys are like cross dressers, right?
No, that's actually Jesse.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know who the Green Arrow is, but that's Jesse and his lady Michelle doing what's it called? Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, right? And this was fun from the '80s, Paul. Beetlejuice, remember?
Oh, Beetlejuice. Yeah.
And my buddy Dan, great guy. He's been, excellent guy.
And then we got Wonder
My buddy
Woman.
Jen. She's the first.
Nice.
She's the first cosplayer I met, and that whole costume is custom made. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, this is my
Custom-made.
favorite. By the way, guys, I'm sorry. This is my favorite. The Mach 5. The dude made this car.
My buddy Doug made a Mach 5. Same guy who just Captain America a couple of slides ago. That's his Mach 5. He used like a Corvette base. That car is just ridiculously awesome, and it works. It's fast too.
Oh man, that is
Demonstrated videos.
now this is
He's
good. This is from the Flash, Paul, right? Isn't it? Aren't these characters from the? Oh, they're from Flash Gordon, not the Flash. Flash
Flash
Gordon.
Flash Gordon,
yeah.
correct.
Right.
That's my
That
buddy
watch.
John. Yeah,
That's great outfits.
my buddy's
Oh, that's
Attic
cute.
doing the Green Lantern. Yep.
Cool.
Let's see here. Let's go to the next one. It's got their little. They got their little. Ah, look this. Here you go. Classic
There's
Batman.
Jesse.
That's classic Batman there, baby.
That's Jesse right there, buddy. His head's popping up through that through your thing right now. He's happy.
Oh, this is a fun one too, from Little Mermaid,
Buddy
right?
John. Yep. Is that Ursula?
Ursula, right?
That's
Ursula.
funny.
I
Yeah.
couldn't remember the character. Oh, all right. Here comes another scary one.
Eric.
That's
He's
scary.
doing
Wow.
yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, is that Gollum? Oh, wow. All
That's
right.
Gollum.
No kidding.
What'd you think it was?
Honestly, that was one of the ones I didn't know. I was like, it's some kind of gargoyle. I don't know.
Jesus?
I
Even
missed
I
it.
know Gollum.
You didn't know that was Gollum.
I did. I know Gollum. That's because Mary Lasang calls me her prince, and I call her my precious.
My
Oh,
price.
wow.
So who are these?
Kim and Hawk, you named it last time. They're like a gaming.
Oh,
Somebody's
right.
gonna give me. Yeah, I forgot who they were. I mean, but that's Kim and Hawk. They're a beautiful couple.
Now this one I knew because my brother-in-law plays Final Fantasy. So this is
It's
from a
Michelle,
video game.
Yes, great job on that.
And it's mainly the hair. You can tell it's Final Fantasy. It's like one of these type characters that they like to use. So this is a fun one too. We got a girl Joker.
Okay.
Yeah, Fred Cat. She's a makeup artist. She's from Chicago.
Oh, you can tell. Yeah, it's
She moved back to. She was in Chicago for a bit. She moved back to Colorado, so I haven't seen her in ages.
Mm.
My buddy Samantha doing the movie Wonder Woman. Great job. She's also a cancer survivor too, so she's living it up the best she can. It's amazing.
And let's see, we got
Daniel doing Carnage.
Carnage, right? Which is going to be in the new Spider-Man movie.
Spider-Man.
Oh no, it's me in the new
Yeah.
Venom movie, right? Not the Spider-Man movie.
New Venom movie.
And then we have the Addams Family. Paula know this one.
A classic, of course.
Uh-huh.
Katrina and Catherine. Great couple.
This is another.
This is Emma.
That's good stuff. That's a good Jack Sparrow.
I didn't know. I mean, when I met her, I'm like, wait, oh gosh, she did a really good job as Sparrow. Like, threw me off.
And here's the last one. We got
Vicky is
Supergirl. Yes.
Girl, yeah. That's a classic. The classics endure.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that's all the
everybody
ones we
knows
got
that.
for this
Yes.
show. But we think we're gonna kind of keep this, maybe once a month, show off some of the cosplayers or something like that. See if we keep getting pictures in from some of these people.
I know. I mean, I know when I went to New Orleans for Halloween, it was just I went 2 times for Halloween. One, everybody brought their A game, and I was telling Mike, one year everybody was just wearing the onesies, where I'm sure we're comfortable, but they weren't costumes. I was just like Barf. I felt like if there was a costume competition, I could have beat everybody that night. I mean, other years I ran into, I ran into clowns that were just awesome. That was just great.
And he had sent me a picture of himself that was scary as hell, but we're saving it for next week because I never did get it off my phone, Louise. So we'll save that one for next.
I promise y'all by next week I will have Luis's thing on my laptop. I'll get caught up on the WandaVision, and I'll get caught up on the Falcon and the Snowman reboot, and we'll be able to discourse freely.
Oh, by the way, he has been watching Queen's Gambit.
I finished.
That's a great movie. It's a really great movie. The special effects are great. Subject matter is great.
She's great.
That was a little weird. I get haunted by ghosts. She gets haunted by chess pieces. I was freaking out. I didn't give me heads or tails.
Well, if you take enough drugs, you can get haunted by anything you want.
This is true. This is true. Choose your poison, right? Like illusion.
Yeah,
Diet Coke's my biggest vice, guys. So that's all I can say.
That'll give you your own brand of ghost, my friend.
And so you also got the Oscars this weekend.
Okay, right? I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, big stuff. Yeah. And I've seen a few, man. Like Nomadland was awesome. I've seen a few of them.
What about Mank? Did anybody see Mank? Because I haven't seen it yet.
No, I heard it's.
I saw Mank.
What'd you think?
I liked it. I liked United States versus Billie Holiday a lot more.
Gotcha.
Than Mank, only because it's a more likable character.
Right. Right. Mank's not very likable.
Have you seen Two Distant Strangers on Netflix?
Which one?
Two Distant Strangers.
Not yet.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Okay, so whoever's listening at home, I recommend that one. That one's like George Floyd meets Groundhog's Day.
Mm.
So it's only it's a 30-minute movie. It's actually nominated for a short film, and pretty much what happens is a gentleman has a one-night stand, wakes up, and when he gets out, he gets shot up by the police. And once he gets shot up, he wakes up again, repeats the same morning, and tries to figure out how to not get shot by the police.
Mm. Wow.
And it becomes like a Bill Murray Groundhog's Day where he plays it all out. He tries something different all the time.
Sounds a lot less fun.
It's not. That's why I said George Floyd. I didn't say, yeah. That's the hard part, right? That's the hard part. But it's only 30 minutes.
The thing about that trope is that trope has become, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but every TV show now, about this 4th season, plays that trope. Where they get stuck in a day and it keeps repeating until they get through the day correctly. It's become sort of a, just like
pretty standard now.
Yeah, just like after the Cloverfield, suddenly they had all of these handheld movies running around where it was docudrama or whatever, pretend docu, whatever. It's sort of become a trope that it gets used a lot. But it's a great show.
It was a good day.
Yeah,
we got caught up on good things. I will use your thing to get caught up on the other stuff, and this thing's it's gonna blast off.
Blasting off. And thank you to all our cosplayers, by the way.
Thanks everybody for sending me pictures. I sort of feel bad popping like third wheel on some of these conversations. I mean,
no, I'm totally down with it. I'm really excited about the reboot of the Falcon and Snowman. I can't wait to see it. I love that movie. So it's gonna be fun.
What do you mean?
The Cold War's in a really different place now than it was then. The Russian-American relationships are in a different place, but I'm sure they managed to update it, and it'd be great. Don't tell me, don't spoil it if there's like a cameo by Tim Hutton and Sean Penn somewhere in there, because that would be just like.
Well,
a lot of people were hoping that Chris Evans would have made a cameo in this, but I was telling Mike that'd have been too expensive.
Yeah, it would have been money.
Expensive.
So people got to remember, a cameo would be great if it was cheap, But
if I don't see Sean Penn in there for the reboot, I'll know that they just couldn't afford him.
Oh, who can afford Sean Penn? Come on.
Yeah, he's big.
He's expensive.
Yeah.
So Madonna could even handle him back in the 80s. Come on. All right, John.
All right, guys.
Everybody have a great weekend, safe weekend. Enjoy festing in place, everybody. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday.
like a cat, it was a present from my brother. I read a lot of books, but I couldn't see between the lines. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. Well, her hair is as black as an alleyway, and it used to be red, and it used to be blonde. Truth is, her hair changes color all the time. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. Well, I'm staring at her shoulder, but it's not what I see when I hear two fellas fighting in the booth across from me. So I wipe away the ashes from an empty counter seat, and I wished I wasn't homesick, I wish I wasn't